Welcome to Tech Talks, brought to you by the Museum of Library Science, Institute of Library Sciences, who graciously gave us a wonderful grant to bring the technology like this to you. Today, we're going to be speaking with our local luminary, Chris Mag.Lo Martin, who is pretty much a local musician who stylized himself as an artist and producer from Deltona, Florida. He's been active since 2012. His offbeat kind of mixed music is one of those things that he brings to the community as a whole, and fans and everyone that has heard his music and the like consider it a intricate flow and lyricism kind of mixed together to bring into a nice harmony. So we're going to have with us, like I said, his name is Chris Mag.Lo Martin. We're going to refer to him as Mag.Lo as his preference. So, how's it going, Mag.Lo?
Yo, going pretty good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Just pretty much, figuring things out as we go. So, what got you into music?
Hmm. Um, I think. Hold on one sec. Test, test. There we go. Um.
I can hear you good.
Okay, cool. Um, I think I don't know. I was always kind of drawn to it, and I think having like a piano in the house was probably a good introduction and kind of something that always kept me grounded. But before we got a piano, I was playing on the recorder too. So yeah,
Nice.
just any excuse to do musical things. Yeah, I've always gravitated to.
So you took up piano pretty early, or was that like a spur inspiration?
Around like uh, 8 years old, I was doing piano lessons, and that was pretty cool. And I liked doing that.
Nice. So is that where you got into the idea of doing the kind of beats that you do today, or was there like an evolution, if you will?
Definitely quite an evolution of things. Like yeah, it started out with there's so many things. Like I don't know, I kind of learned different instruments at a time, and then different like production things at a time. I don't know how to explain it, but um, I don't know. It just started with learning how to uh, record my guitar first, and uh, yeah, that's about it. Like just learn how to play guitar. It's not about it. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank actually.
No, it's okay. No worries.
No, I started playing guitar and um at like 16, and I wanted a way to record it. So I was kind of using like a Logitech like laptop mic for a little bit. And then from there I tried to learn how to record that. And um that kind of got me into like the software side of learning how to like record music on a computer and everything, and recorded that through Audacity. And then eventually I started branching out into like FL Studio to learn how to record. And from there was like that was a good introduction to learning how to do electronic music.
Nice. So once you got past the Logitech setup, then you start getting into like Audacity, and like, was that much of a jump, or was it maybe more into Studio that really, changed things?
It was a pretty good jump because there's so many more things you can do with like an FL Studio than you could with an Audacity. And then before Audacity, there was like Windows Sound Recorder, which I was using. So like with each program, there was like different elements of things I could do. Like with Sound Recorder, it was just a plain sound recorder. And then Audacity kind of had like layers, like multi tracks. And then FL Studio was really like for producing whole songs and lining things up to grids and importing like samples and stuff and arranging your samples into beats and things like that. So yeah, and that gave me a better grasp of like effects, I think, than something like Audacity, because there's more visual things that you can latch onto.
Nice. So out of curiosity, I mean, not to get into like technical specifics of FL or anything like that, but was that like what you used to make your professional music, or were you actually starting back in Audacity?
No, I was definitely when I really tried to present music to the world, that was on like FL Studio. And then from there, it's mostly been that, but sometimes I'll play with Ableton as well. But yeah, most of the time it's an FL Studio.
Okay. So then you just were mixing your experiences with like the guitar and then with the effects and the piano and everything to get everything together to make the sound that you have today come
Yeah,
together.
yeah, because I would be recording like through different styles of music. I was learning different things, like ways to record, like with like first I was doing like metal stuff and like post hardcore music, and I would still make beats everyone like here and there, but most of my focus when I was in there was like learning how to like tweak drum sounds for um like drum simulation like instruments, and then learning how to do like guitar amp simulators and stuff like that. And then from there um I started off like there was very separate, like there was that side, and then I was also like enjoying like trance music and like some other like earlier, not earlier, but like just electronic music of that time, which is like late or mid 2000s. Like those are my influences, and like trying to do that, and then also trying to like do hip hop, but I didn't really start blending them until the project before I went by Mag.Lo, which was called Ravens.
Oh, okay. Nice. So I guess what was I don't know, the inspiration to it? Because you're looking at a couple of different um, genres, if you will. I mean, trance and metal, those seem like almost harsh mixes to some extent. You get a little bit of headbanging with just a little bit of like, I don't know, some wave and vibe with different beats. What brings that all together? Like, what inspired that?
I don't know. I think it was just like wanting to see it all blend together. Like, um, I don't know. You want to make something that's a little different. You want to make something that feels like it's, I don't know. I like giving people new experiences. So I could have just like stuck in like like a genre, but also I think um, being more encouraged to try to blend things is like when you learn about how music is made and like the history of like sound evolving, you kind of see that like more so than things being specific genres, you see like areas having certain like movements that are inspired by a lot of different things, but they're more so like genres evolve from like people coming together and having fun and experimenting and stuff like that. And I like that approach of just making music that I want to in the way that I want to, more so than thinking I have to be like this type of artist. Like, because I don't know, genres are cool for like finding new music and stuff like that. But I think as an artist, you should always be trying to just throw different things and seeing what you like, and then that becoming your sound more than like trying to stick with one thing. Though, I mean, to each their own. But yeah, that's how I like to do it, at least.
Fair. Okay. So, have you gotten into any collaborations over the process, um, either consistent or just like one-off stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot. Uh yeah, there's been a lot. um
Okay.
yeah, like there's I've met people through like doing like the anime convention scene, and like musicians who like attend there who kind of heard my stuff online. Like I think most of my collaborative work has come from being on like SoundCloud, because it's always been like the hub where I point everybody to listen to all the music I've made. And so like anyone who, or a lot of people who've heard of me who want to collaborate, have known about me through like just visiting SoundCloud, and then collaborating with people from SoundCloud. That spreads through all those types of different circles and stuff like that. And then sometimes it comes from, I don't know, just I don't know, friends I met through cons. Like that's how I met O Super, was like at a fighting game tournament, and then he liked what I was doing and wanted to chop it up, and then yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you got at least from what I've heard, I like the sounds. So
Thanks.
people want to jump on it on SoundCloud, they can go for it. Out of curiosity, I mean, I've looked through it and all, but um, you got any albums that are out or anything like that, or is it you know anything produced together, or is it digital? Can somebody get a hold of it? Something like that.
Yeah, so you can find all of my stuff on most of my music is on SoundCloud, but you can find it on like Apple Music and all the streaming services, Spotify, um, whatever you use. Um, but most of it, the bulk of it is on like you can find all the music that I want people to see on SoundCloud. And yeah, that's probably the best way. I have like CDs too that I sell as well on Bandcamp if anyone wants to buy CDs too. But yeah, that's where you can find all my music just out for anyone who wants to listen, download it, do whatever. Well, not whatever, but listen to
I got you.
it. Enjoy it.
Do you find most of the people that you've either worked with or made friends with over the your time in the music scene use this kind of route to get into it, or does this seem to be, just the way to get out and reach out and get people to hear what you're putting out?
Mm, yeah, like everyone has kind of different ways they get people to know about their stuff. Um, I would say like fundamentally, you definitely want to have your music like online somewhere for people to see. And I think SoundCloud's a good place, um, just for a few reasons. Like I like the way that they let you organize your music, and I like the chronological way that the music's laid out on SoundCloud because it kind of plays like this big long story of your evolution as an artist kind of. And yeah, so that's probably the ways I would recommend people do it. Is just first just get your music online, and then um but yeah, a lot of people that I see, you know, that's kind of how it starts. They put their music on there. If it's good, people want to collaborate with them and stuff. And um not even if it's good, just do it. Just put it online, like
It's get out there and
yeah,
both expose yourself to it and expose others to you and your sound.
yeah, like the way I've done it is just like there's that, and then I figured just do a bunch of shows and the people will learn about what you're doing and spread your music around. And eventually, if you do that enough, like people will just kind of get to know you after a while. And, you know, people will reach out to you if they like what you're doing, and one thing might lead to another. And then, I don't know. Yeah, eventually people will just like your stuff. People will make things out of the music that you put out, maybe like AMVs or something. And then who knows what'll happen.
Okay. Well, looks like we got a question out here. What kind of bands influenced your early music style, and has it changed at all? As you find different things influencing you today?
Yeah, definitely. I think different things influence me today. I don't know. When I first started out with MagLo stuff, it was kind of like I'm trying to think if it was like 2000 like 13, 14 around that time. Like I was kind of into I don't know, trap was kind of new. So I was not new, but it wasn't really new, but like just that particular kind of take on it was kind of cool and new. And I don't know, just being on the internet on that time was really cool. Uh like trying to think. There's so many things. I was listening to a lot of like Grizzly Bear still, and uh I don't know. I just kind of wanted to like evoke a certain feeling and stuff. So I've always kind of just been riding off like the things I learned how to do. And even though I had like certain music that influenced me here and there to like do small little things, mostly it was just kind of like always throwing things together and like trying my best to do that the best I can. And anything I liked, I would collect together and put online. And that's always kind of how I've done it. So like I don't know. Early on, there was bands like Mew, or like I said, Grizzly Bear. Um, I liked Imogen Heap a lot. Uh, who else? Yeah, and then I liked the way making music with like chiptune music was. I liked video game sounds. I liked a lot of music from like California at that time, like the beat scene over there, like Shigeto and artists like Flylo or uh, John Wayne, stuff like that. And yeah, that was kind of what like I don't know. It kind of all came together at the right time. Like the things that were starting to happen were also the things that like I liked as well, and kind of was trying to like blend together. So it was kind of that opportune time to start trying to showcase just cool things that I thought were cool, just for the sake of uploading music online, you know?
I gotcha. I'm definitely familiar with grizzly bears and Emojin Heat, so
Yeah.
I know where that comes from.
Yeah. They're
I
so good.
still got some links for that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So I got a question here from Tim Vadish. Any specific person you look up to or consider like a mentor?
Mm, I don't know if I have mentors really. I kind mm,
Maybe someone
yeah.
you aspire towards?
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I think for the longest time I've really been inspired by Imogen Heap because I just liked the idea of like the way she interface with her fans was really cool. Like before a lot of people like really kind of had a good grasp on video chat and like making YouTube videos like directly with their fans and stuff. Like she was in that space doing that, and I always thought that was really cool. And yeah, so that was kind of it. I I like the whole I have like a kind of goofy like fan like lineage of like just everyone who's participated in hip hop that like I look up to, like cuz I don't know, they've just always been like storytellers or people who pass on knowledge through the music. And it kind of feels like I don't think it's silly actually. I won't insult it like that. Like, but that's kind of something that's always inspired me is like being someone who can make the world better and like give people validity and like spread information and show people things through music. Like I think that's always been something that's been super strong with hip hop. Like outside of all the things that are cool about it aesthetically, like that's something that means a lot to me and something that I think is really important when I try to interface with it is like trying to keep that up. So I try to like be transparent in like the things I'm saying and the thing like things about my life that I put in there so that there's kind of that like yeah, I don't know. There's that
So,
thing
so
for
you would say your music pretty much always has, or not always, but like tends to try to have some sort of message, even if it's not spoken.
yeah, well, definitely it's always usually spoken to. But like yeah, it's always trying to have some sort of like not even message, but I think the message kind of shows itself like in being truthful. So like I think being truthful is helpful for everyone. So being truthful about things that like I know might be harder for some people to say or admit or stuff like being truthful about like, you know, just being like disillusioned with a lot of stuff is important. Like being disillusioned with just I don't know, just the whole environment we live in, the whole system we live in, like all these things. Like it's important to have people who are honest about that so that people don't disillusion themselves into doing things that are unhealthy for themselves. So it's good for people to have perspective and somebody to say like, "Hey, this thing is hurting or this is like happening or like why do we not think about these things, or why do we erase these things, or why do we pretend these things don't exist? So I don't know. That's always something that I think has been cool about hip hop, especially because it's like something that like makes you think, but it also makes you dance and makes you move. It's a way to release yourself. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, looks like I got another one that came through. So it was a joy of synth. There's an Axe hardcore call response going on in some tracks. Um, were you at some point affiliated or in or around hardcore emote style bands? Was there any sort of band name that maybe you can recall? And then are you still into that genre?
Um it's funny because like it was kind of hard getting into that scene. Like I don't want to I mean fuck it. I mean that back then that scene was like it was kind of racist, to be honest. It was kind of sketchy. So like I mean, it wasn't all that way, obviously, but it was hard to get into it and not have some sort of cognitive dissonance. And I don't know, not to be holier than thou for anyone, but it just kind of was, and it was something that I always thought was kind of hard to get into. Um, but like, yeah, there's definitely that influence there, and I don't. I still listen to stuff like kinda here and there. Um, Not as much anymore, uh, just because I think, like, I just kinda, like, fell out of it, and I just don't know really what's, like, popping that much anymore. Like, I don't know, I kinda saw, this band called Loathe that's really cool, that's kinda been buzzing a little bit, that I saw, and yeah, I don't know, sometimes I just, like, go and listen to, like, throwback things. Like, I was listening to, like, Whitechapel on my way back from a Best Buy, and I know that's, like, more, like, deathcore type stuff, but, like, yeah, yeah, I was listening to that on the way home, and that was pretty funny because I was just like, "What am I doing?" But, yeah, I don't really stay in that scene that much. I would like to revisit. I'm sure a lot of things have changed, and I'm sure my experience might have been in some sort of like just pocket of my environment. I didn't travel around and stuff and like go to a bunch of different shows. And, you know, I know my experiences aren't representative of the whole, but that was my experiences with it. And so I kind of stayed away and did my own thing. But I did have friends that I geeked out about stuff over with. So that was kind of my experience with it. I just kind of stayed in my little huddle with my friends. Um, but yeah, I think there was another part of the question that I forgot.
They were asking about the if you were in any of the bands, but I mean you've kind of covered that as far as
Oh,
I can tell,
yeah,
unless
no.
unless you are looking to name drop or nothing. But
No,
you
no,
know,
I just kind of just I just did my own thing with it. I just like made a bunch of never to be released tracks on my own. That I might release, but I still keep it with me. I still put it in like elements of that into Mag.Lo stuff cuz I love it, and like I don't know. It's great. It's
it's
great.
all part of
Great
that
art
story
form.
you were telling.
Yeah, it's still part of me. So like, it's fucking awesome. I love it. So it's gonna sorry, ooh, library. It's darn great, and I love it. Uh,
So I guess I got a question here from Juan Rivera. He thinks your name's really interesting. What made you choose Maglo?
um, I feel like I decided to not really like go for this question anymore because I don't know how like uh I don't know how to feel about it anymore, and it brings me some sort of cognitive dissonance sometimes. But it's I don't know. It came from the word magro, um, because I guess like I'm a weeb, and I wanted to have a I don't know, like the period in it like was reminiscent of like old visual like Japanese visual K bands that I liked listening to. So I liked that they had sometimes they just had weird punctuation in their names, and I liked that. And so that was kind of like a personal call to that. And then yeah, I just also like tuna. They're also really smart. So uh just like creatures. So I don't know. I just kind of stuck with that.
Okay.
Also a Pisces. I don't really follow astrology that deep, but I was like, there's another layer. Yeah.
So I gotta talk about it, just because I love it way too much. But your first music video, I got to do it. So
That's fine.
walk me through how Team happened, because for anybody that is interested, you can find it. I found it on YouTube, which is of course under his own channel, um, and it's worth it. But might as well ask you, walk me through how that happened.
um I I it's just the I don't know, that was just the energy. That was just how it had to happen. Like um the song was just like a shout out to my friends. And then I was like, all right, all my friends got to be in this video. And I was just like, you know, I don't have much to go by, but I do have a garage we could jump around in. And like, I think it was literally just as quick of an idea as that. Just like, what if we just jump around in my garage and it's just kind of just really hot and just sweaty because I know that garage is super hot. So I was just like, I mean, it's kind of like a club. And you know, so uh yeah, that was the idea. Just get as many friends as I could to pack in a garage and jump around.
Okay. How did you shoot it? Out of curiosity, I'm just interested in. Obviously, I got to ask the tech stuff too. So I was like, I'm just. How did you end
Right.
up putting it all together? Like,
Um, it was really simple. We had two cameras, and one was like my T5i, and I forgot the other camera we used, but they were just two DSLR cameras, and we just took like 6 or 7 like takes in the garage, which was funny because it just like made everyone sweatier and sweatier. Um, and then there was the idea to have everybody like flood out, and I think we had. I don't remember if we actually had. I think we did. We had like you know the soft boxes and everything. Um, but that was it. It was super minimal. And then after that, like after that whole shoot, and everyone got released out into the yard. Excuse me. Yeah, that was about it. And then I just took all the footage and I just like opened it in Final Cut or whatever, and then I just spliced it all together that night and uploaded it the next day.
so it really was like a spur idea, cut and done, all in one
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Like it was.
It's impressive.
I think the idea came in this the beginning of the week, and then we recorded at the end of the week. And after recording it, I just immediately chopped it up like just that night because I was so excited. And then yeah, I just threw it on YouTube. There you
Nice.
go.
It's amazing. Did it on just two quick shots with DSLRs and just went for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of knew what I wanted. It's like, you know, cool shots of people doing whatever. Like, just people were grabbing. I think I had this like old drawing from kindergarten in there that my friend Blake held up. And it
Hmm.
was just like this old ass drawing. Sorry, I keep cursing. This old butt drawing from kindergarten that was just goofy. So he was holding that up. Um, my friend Jamel came in a with a garnet from Steven Universe head that he was working on. Yeah, and we were just goofing.
I mean, it adds a nice character to it. So, I mean, it's got a good feel. It definitely feels like some friends hanging out in the garage.
Yeah, and it means so much too because it's like some of the people in that video I've known since I was like 7 or 8 years old. So it's like it really felt like something to immortalize all of these amazing people in my life. Like some people were current at the time that I just had just met. Some people were from the scene, like in Orlando, here in Orlando, like Oh Super and uh, yeah. So yeah, we're just chilling.
Awesome. Well, let's see about if the audience has any sort of questions they'd like to throw out there real quick. And Got Joy since asking, aside from being a great track, how did Never rise to 10 million listens on Spotify and 4.5 million on YouTube?
Um, I think it is just so it started out with somebody. I think it was like a small community of people in like anime edit, like doing anime edits. Like that's just a thing that people do. Like I guess that it's basically like a newer form of like AMVs, like anime music videos for like anyone who is on old internet. Um, it's like yeah, it's just they just call it anime edits now. And yeah, a small just group of people were using the song. I think they were also using Machine as well, and that kind of just started uh, taking steam. And I think they just uploaded their edits on TikTok and stuff too. And eventually, that just kind of somehow just kept I don't know picking up steam over there. And then eventually, somebody sends me a message on Instagram saying like, "Hey, you have this thing like going viral over here on TikTok," and I was just like, "What?" Because I don't have the app on my phone, so it's just like I had no idea until somebody let me know. And yeah, everyone was making these videos, and um, that's it. It just keeps going. Like I haven't done anything to it. I haven't like promoted it or anything. I just like it just grows on its own, and I just kind of watch it grow. um, and yeah, that's pretty crazy. So that's it. That's really it.
It just grew on its own, like the nature of the beast, if you will.
yeah, just that's it. Like they saw it, they wanted it, and it was theirs. But it's cool, and I love it. And then people like eventually listen to the song like itself, and they just like the song too. So I think that also helped a little bit, maybe. Um, or could be all meme, who knows? But either way, yeah, they they really like it, and um, no, they legitimately like it, and they tell me that they really like it. Um, yeah, so that's how it grew. It just did.
So, I mean, I'm kind of curious since we're kind of talking about the nature of the machine of music these days in general. I mean, is the industry feel different than when you got into it?
Mm, not really. Like it it really feels about the same. Like there's cool ways that you might get lucky, but ultimately I think like there's always been certain people who are able to kind of work like bigger, more popular channels of media. But then there's also like under that, there's just like the giant amalgamation of like people who review music or people who just like make edits to things and people who like music or re-upload music. And I don't know, there's so many different facets. So I mean, yes, it has changed a lot actually. I don't know why I said that. It's changed a lot because you can the ease at which people can share their music with each other is so much better. Like the way social media has like allowed you to galvanize people a little easier. And I don't know, but has it really changed? I don't know. Maybe I'm not the right person to ask. um I don't really study the industry too much. uh
That's okay. I mean, just how it feels
yeah.
for you is fine.
For me, not really. I kind of always just thought like you make music and you put your heart into it, and if you think it's cool and you believe in it, share it. And or even if you don't believe in it and other people believe in it more, believe them and share it, and see what happens. Like, you just do your best and then show yourself to the world, and hopefully and you'll see all the different ways that people want to collaborate with you and make something cool with you. And you just practice as much as you can, um, without destroying yourself, and just eventually you'll just keep getting better and better. And that's kind of the way I've always looked at things. um, yeah, so that's it.
Okay. Do you feel that over the last year with the whole pandemic situation or anything like that has changed your approach or affected it? Or is it something that because you're releasing it digitally, it doesn't have the same impact? Because I mean, you said you did shows and stuff too, so I'm assuming you had some impact there at least.
Yeah, like I think, when you get more people who are signed on, then everything you do kind of has more of an impact. Like, especially if you are more consistent, like sometimes people will be more likely to be engaged. Because your stuff will just kind of show up in their feed and stuff more. Um, but yeah, like usually it's just uh yeah, usually it's just upload your music and see what happens. Sorry, I kind of like lost the question for a second.
That's okay.
What was it one more time?
I was just wondering how if the over the last year with the pandemic and stuff like that has really affected you. I mean, I know you did shows and stuff like that, so I'm assuming at least there. But was there any other sort of impacts that you noticed?
Yeah, no, that was basically it. Just not being able to do shows. Otherwise, because of the song blowing up, like things have been better on that regard more than they've ever been. So like that's been a positive thing and that hasn't really been affected by the pandemic. If anything, maybe it's helped because more people have been at home and been able to sit with things, sit with music, slow down, listen to, listen to what's in a lot of the music that they like and just kind of relate to it a little more. Um, and maybe so that might be it. Um, but yeah, other than that, that's all I've really noticed. The whole pandemic, I've just been um trying to practice and like, just stay mentally afloat and keep working on building new skills and stuff to try to like come out of the pandemic like with something else or tackling it in like with a new vigor.
Okay. All right. Well, just curious. Before we take questions from the audience again, walk me through what your general workflow is. I mean, you kind of told us further, like making teen into the video. That seemed like a one day, one go kind of thing. Cut it, throw it, and see how it goes. Which amazing. Is that normal, or is there a process? Do you have like just randomly taking a walk or whatever inspiration? It's just like got to sit there and you just go till it's done, or is there
Yeah.
more of a real thing that you step by step it?
Um, Let me think for a second.
Oh,
I
go for it.
don't I learn like I don't know. I think, part of it's like learning a little bit like learning music theory stuff. Um, but really the flow of it is like very literally sit down. Um, like sometimes I'll start it depends on what like thing I'm kind of interested in focusing on. Like um at the beginning of the pandemic, I wanted to focus on piano playing and learning piano better and incorporating that more in my music. So I like ended up buying it like a keyboard that's over here. That's like more piano like and like sitting down and just like going back over a lot of fundamental stuff and trying to um, write that way. And that I kind of like that would have a little bit more of a shine combined with some of the like things I already knew how to do. And then sometimes it'll be creating sounds. Um, and so it'll start with like just opening a synthesizer and uh, seeing if I have some sort of idea in my head um, and try to like create that sound that I hear, or trying to mess around with stuff or just like learn new ways to like modulate certain parameters to different parameters and like in just like a different way that I haven't really tried before, and just like start really experimenting with that and just like understanding everything that the tool can do. Um, Sometimes it starts with just like sound designing for drums and like trying to figure out different ways to like, so I don't know, I just focus on like different elements. Like some days I'll focus on like uh what kind of like weird snare things can I do, and that like kind of becomes more of the focus. um yeah, so that's kind of the workflow, just finding a thing to latch on to. Sometimes it's like just, yeah, so there's that. And I'll make beats and stuff like that and upload it to Google Drive. And sometimes I'll just sit in random parking lots and just like listen to them. And then I'll like just be writing like in like random but parking lots. uh, and yeah, just kind of getting into it. Sometimes it'll just be reading. What's been inspiring me lately has been like going over like old world history and like just trying to like sharpen my knowledge of that, just because that's something that I feel like I've been too zoomed into things lately. And so I was just like, let me just step all the way back and see like just if I can kind of like recall like the general events of humanity, because why not? Like I just want to know, I want that to be something I can do. So I would just like kind of stepped back and started learning about that and reading that a little bit, just really surface level, and kind of I feel like in that I'll find something else. And then sorry if I'm rambling, something else maybe will be just watching anime and just sitting down and watching anime for whatever reason, because I like it and I get inspired by that. um so yeah, there's a lot of different like workflows. Yeah.
Okay. So Tim Vadish is asking, can you tell us a little about your any upcoming work that you've got? Of course, you don't have to give spoilers.
Yeah. So I've been working on an instrumental EP that's kind of like a 7 song like little mini voyage of like um just, I don't know, I store up a lot of stuff, and then I find the similarities, and like sometimes I'll be in a certain place and I'm like, okay, this sounds like that place, so I'll put it in that folder. And then like sometimes I'll be in this place, so I'll put it in this folder. And then eventually, after creating for a long time, I'll find that I have like stuff built up. So that's kind of where I've hit with this newer instrumental thing, is like a bundle of just that. Um like they're all kind of this like similar thing that like, I don't know, once the folders fill up, it inspires me. So like that is kind of, that folder ended up becoming its own inspiration for finishing more. And that's kind of what I have now. Though I recently encountered a pretty tragic computer error with the hard drive that some of those older ones were on. So I'm kind of in the place between releasing it anyway, even though I just have like the earlier takes of it, um, or maybe not. And because I feel like I've grown so much over the pandemic, and I would say about half of it is from before the pandemic started. So there's been a lot of growth since then. So the perfectionist wants to not uh, wants to just hold on to it, but I think I might just do it just for the sake of, just getting it out there. Um, and I've also been working on uh, more regularly scheduled programming, Mag.Lo stuff, um, which has, rapping and singing and all types of stuff. Um, but that one will definitely take a little bit. So more so on the horizon will be the instrumental uh, album.
Okay. Um, let's see. I got Vivian asks, wanted to first thank you for sharing, but what are your thoughts on moving forward after you finish the album? Uh, they're stating that they just finished their 12 album song. What wanted to know what you would do to get your music out there, especially due to COVID. I know we mentioned earlier, like you have your stuff on SoundCloud. but is there other avenues you could think of? And is there places you are wanting to go with it?
Yeah, like I think having visual, like a visual element for your music to go alongside of it is really important. Um, I think it's just something that helps capture like the thing, because I don't know, people, there's so much music, so it's kind of like when people are going through stuff, like everyone's fighting for the same space, like everyone's fighting for the same feed almost sometimes it feels like. So I guess all I would do is just have something that strongly feels like it accompanies what you're doing with your music visually. Um, and that should really be it. Like something that just feels honest and true to the general vibe of like what your album would be and what it means to you, and try to represent that visually. And doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but I think that will be a good way of going about it. And then once you have that done, that helps you have something to like update your feeds with, or like show, like, you know, do sponsored ads with and stuff like that. If you choose to promote it that way and everything. And that's pretty much it. Like that, and getting shows booked and just like touring around. Like if you're generally unknown, it's really important to play shows around to get people to know what you're doing and just see what people are doing around your town, and try to find events that you think kind of fit your style.
So that exposure component is definitely something that has to be part of it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't I personally don't look too deep in things into things like follow chains or stuff like that, where people like have like follow networks and they're like, hey, for like X amount of money, I will upload your music to my, like, I have this many people, so upload your music, like, you know, give me money and I'll put your thing on this feed. Like, it's important that you are there, because I think that's more the thing that like really gets people to stay with you, and like really see who you are as an artist, or like really believe in you and want to support you, is like you being there and having your art be the focal point of what you're doing, whether it be in advertising it or not, like you having some sort of presence in all of the things that have to do with your art. I think that's important.
Okay. So I guess while we see if any of the audience has any questions, I'm curious if you got the opportunity to work on something specific that you really wanted to work on, like somebody went and made you an offer to, I don't know, do an anime opening, for instance, uh, or something. It doesn't have to be that, of course. What kind of project would you like to jump on?
I want to join the Namco Sound team. So if anyone who knows anyone in the Namco Sound team, or if you are in the Namco Sound team watching this, I want to join you. I have so many sounds, and I want to make sounds for Tekken and sounds for any upcoming Katamari projects you might have. I want to be there working on those things because they're very special to me, and I would put my all into them. Um, yeah, that's the type of, I don't know. I think that's kind of it. Like, other than, I don't know, man. I'm tired of talking about myself. You know what I mean? I wanna work on something cool. I want to make something that like makes people happy, that, and maybe like full circle on the things that made me happy. Um, so, and like, yeah, more projects. Like I worked with an artist and game developer and story maker named Tess Young for a project called Paranormal, and that was cool. It was like a dating sim, um, like mystery type game, and I liked making music for that. I like making music and sounds for video games, and I think that would be cool to have more things like that to work on. And hmm, What else would be cool? That's it. That's it right now. Maybe work on an anime, like do music for an anime. And that's all I got. That's all I aspire for.
Okay. Hey, I mean, not for nothing. You get in Namco. Congrats.
Oh, that'd be great.
Video games are one of those things that I've always like dreamed of working on, but it's not one of those things that I am working on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I can feel that. Okay. So I guess wanted to see if the audience had any questions in our last couple of minutes. We're here live with all of you. If anybody wants to post up some questions, feel free. Oh, and we have Lloyd Simpson asking in your own words, who or what is Mag.Lo? I think we loosely covered the name's meaning before.
Who
So
and what is Mag.Lo? I am Mag.Lo. What is Mag.Lo? Somebody who wants to remind the world how to be how to just, you know, be cool with it all, even when it's really not cool. That is who and what is Mag.Lo. A human being, perhaps alien being. That's all I got. That's all I got right now.
okay, no worries. Alrighty. Any other questions out there in the audience?
Oh, also that person.
Oh no, go for it.
Lloyd goes by the artist name Dot Free, and
Okay.
he just released an album, and you know I threw some little sprinkles of cool stuff in there too, but mostly it's his amazing project that everyone should check out on Spotify and everything. It's .x free for anyone who's looking for it. Local artist from Daytona. You should cover him sometime. Have him
cool
at the Melrose.
Those are the decisions that are not in my ability, but somebody definitely heard you that can maybe make that happen.
Make it happen.
I'm guessing Lloyd's the one that just asked the question. Is the same.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not free.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Does anybody out there want to ask some final questions before we wrap up tonight? Give you all a couple minutes because I know you're gonna type.
Check out this like light. It's like that's a great question.
Okay, so we're at all of the backgrounds asking. You got to tell us, where do we like, follow, and subscribe to you?
Like, follow, and subscribe to Mag.Lo. You can go. I have a website. It's called maglo.work. Mag.Lo doesn't have the dot in it, but you know, maglo.work, WORK. And that has links to all of the places you can find my stuff. So whatever you like listening to music on, there is a link for it on there. You can follow me on Instagram for updates on. That's what I probably update the most reliably. And yeah, follow me on Spotify so that you can be in the know when I drop something new on there as well. And yeah, just see me, catch me at your local party. Because I crank it every day.
All right. Well, I definitely really appreciate you coming and talking with us.
I'm gonna regret that in 5 years.
No regrets. You're all good. No worries.
No regrets.
All righty. Well, really want to thank Mag.Lo for coming and talking with us today. As he said, you could find everything through his maglo.work. It is a website you can Google search if you don't know exactly how to spell it. Trust me, it comes up without too much effort. And of course, there's always Spotify and Instagram. Otherwise, this is Mag.Lo, who is always making sure things aren't boring for you, promising as much as he can. And There we go. And that way everybody can follow him through his own site. So I want to thank you for coming. I really appreciate you coming and giving us an insight into what your world's been like and what the music world's like. And otherwise, we will have another event just like this one coming up in a couple of months. And we will have more details on that as we get closer to it. This has been Tech Talks. My name is Andrew, and we will see you again.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first to find out when we have new fun and informative videos for you. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.